We're back. Episode 46, the Eric and Tony Show with our buddy Chris Mangnee.
Hey.
One of the first people to go from viewer to guest. I was
Yeah.
going to say contestant.
You won a beer already.
Listener, first time buyer, first time caller, is that what they call it?
Yeah. So just to get our audience up to date. So we used to work with
Met
Chris.
our adult friend finder years ago.
Yeah, we met him on Craigslist on Feet Finder or whatever.
Yeah.
So we worked with Chris for like what was 7 years, something like that, like 6 years,
Something like that. 5.
some crazy amount of time, working in restaurants and stuff. And then
Also, he's a creative, though. We played a lot of shows together.
Chris is a
Bands,
musician, man of many
shows.
talents. He owns his own construction business, getting into refabbing houses, remodeling, tile work, all that kind of stuff.
All the man stuff.
Starting his own company, so entrepreneur, backpacking buddy. I've gone on many backpacking trips with him. So we've you've been all over the place and have a interesting life, interesting perspective on a lot of things, So
We've done a lot. We should do some more backpacking soon.
we should. I think
keep
about it
talking
every
about
time.
I keep trying to get my knee ready to go on a backpacking trip because, like, ever since you guys started going on backpacking trips is right when I got AIDS and my knee fucked up.
I thought you were going to say that's where when I got AIDS.
I got AIDS, and I just haven't gotten around. Once I get rid of this shit.
Get yourself
See me
one
out on the
of
hills.
those robot knees.
Well, I'd like to, but I don't want to start to try to kill me and take over the world. It's not me; it's my knee.
Yeah, we were trying to get this guy going backpacking since we started. This is the first time.
I was
Like,
the
literally-
original. I was the first backpacker. In fact,
That's what I heard.
Before
I've never seen
any
it.
of you ever did it, I was out there backpacking with a flat top and in high school and shit. But yeah, man, I don't know. I would like to go, but I just don't want to fucking be like blown
It's
out.
okay, you're
knees and stuff.
scared. You're scared.
Fuck yeah, I'm scared.
You're fucking scared.
If you get tired, just sit down.
Before you even had a
That's what you
blow on, you're like, oh yeah, I want to go. And then I'm like, yeah, you want to go?
There's
Oh,
no
yeah,
toilets.
Yeah.
Sleeping in a tent. Yuck.
Yeah, dude, just fucking be a mountain man for like a week. It's fun.
There you go.
I am, dude. Eric, I have a beard. I wear boots. I'm a fucking man.
You just don't dress like one. You just got to be one. All right.
There you go.
Like Chris is a mountain man.
But we do
mountain
have
man.
a travel trailer now.
Oh, nice.
That
You guys got
is
one?
a game changer. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little 17-footer.
Okay.
It's incredible. So now road trips, we bring that and we just stay in that thing.
Yeah.
We do harvest
Of
hosts all
course.
over the place. We stay in golf courses, wineries, breweries.
Yeah.
You just
But you
hang
don't
out.
appreciate it unless you've lived in a tent for a week in the mountains of nowhere.
Yeah.
All that stuff feels like a 5-star hotel.
Oh, it's
like
incredible.
if you sleep in anything other than a tent on the ground, you're like, holy shit, this is fucking like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the AC
So-
on, turn the heater on.
yeah,
Oh, it's
Little-
the best.
little Netflix, got Wi-Fi, all that. It's great.
Yeah, I love that thing.
How often do you guys do little like road trips in the 17-footer?
Pretty often, like summertime's coming up. So I think we have one in July coming up
Okay.
with some family, but not much in the summertime. We'll go up north maybe to cool off, but probably about once a month, at
Yeah.
least wintertime.
Like Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Flag up in the
Same
rim.
cities.
We'll go down to Tucson,
Like Phoenix, like
Flagstaff.
Tucson.
Dixon.
Flagstaff is awesome.
Yeah. But no, we go to Houston every year for Christmas. And last year we took it with us and like extended our trip.
Mhm.
And we went to a couple small cities, Amarillo on the way back, and just took our time. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
You just stop, pull over.
Do you know?
Hang out.
So we've always been like big on sharing music back and forth. You ever get into like Leon Bridges shit?
Yeah, I saw him like a month ago.
I did fucking jealous. Who
Yeah.
do you play with? Was it Ring Bing or whatever the fuck it is?
No, so it's for the basketball, I don't know, whatever that championship was,
Oh,
college
okay.
basketball.
Sure.
Seems like an ill fit
Madness,
for like
NCAA, whatever.
Leon Bridges synonymous with basketball.
Well, Capital One sponsors like free shows.
Okay.
So like the weekend or 2 weekends it's a free show. So you show up and whoever's playing, you go watch. So it was
Oh,
Leon
really?
Bridges. It was, what's that? Ratecliffe guy in the Night Sweats
Yeah.
and Black Keys.
Nathaniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, it's free to show up and just,
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it
Black Keys,
was-
that's a great fucking like lineup.
it was awesome.
But being in Texas and he's like a Texas guy and he's got like such good driving soundtracks. Like he's got 2 EPs. There's the Texas Moon and Texas Sun EPs. And they're both fucking like, came out within like 2 years of
Yeah.
each other and shit. And they're like really good if you're on like a long drive type
Okay.
thing. 'Cause I made the drive to Arizona a couple weeks ago for a wedding. It's like
I missed
just a
the
mere
phone
8
call.
hours. Dude, I literally left work at 4, rolled into town at like midnight.
Oof.
And I like it, my ETA, my navigation was like 11:45. I'm like, wait till I get out of LA. I'll drop that down about 10:30. And I like pulled up at 11:45. I'm like, God damn, dude, I didn't fucking like. I picked up a couple minutes, lost a couple minutes along the drive and stuff. But
Tony's still horrible with time. He hasn't figured it out yet.
What the fuck are you talking
GPS
about? We're
knows.
early. We're starting this podcast early, but I am.
You're
You're like the biggest smear campaign for me ever. It's just like, oh yeah,
dude.
Tony.
You fucking suck with time.
No, for real. No, because
you suck so bad at time.
Get the fuck out of here.
Just you talking about things that you're trying to do, and then the time, I'm like, that is impossible.
I cannot
to do.
wait to
you need a
fucking
time
regulate
machine
you.
in
Mark
order
this.
to accomplish
Episode 46. I'm going on the. I want a time check.
that. I'm bringing the timestamps.
For real.
I'm
For real. I'm
going
gonna show receipts because I honestly I pride myself on being super punctual, and I happen to be with my partner. My ex-partner,
You fucking dumbass.
ex-wife, if you will,
No
was
way.
the reason why I was always running late.
No,
Yeah.
I won't even like.
Wait, are you saying he's never on time, or the time it takes to do something is just not happening?
I say he doesn't understand the amount of time things take to be on time. Like I would say he's probably like a good 15, 20 minutes behind. He'll get there, but like he'll be like, for example, he'll be like,
Dude, you're
like
the-
he'll be like, oh,
No.
like he'll be like, Chris, so you want to meet me for a drink at 5 o'clock? And he'll be like, or
Hey,
he'll-
says the guy who's like, why don't you just give me a ride home real quick? It's just 5 minutes. Like, yeah, but it's a fucking
No,
30-minute
I'll
round
walk.
trip to do that shit. Get the fuck out of here. No.
It doesn't matter if I ask you.
People like
So
you
the
are the
thing is-
reason why I'm late
So the
for
thing
shit.
is if someone like me asks you for a ride, then you go, I can't because I have to go to this thing at 5:30, but I'm supposed to meet Chris for a fucking drink at 5. But you'll be like, yeah, I'll give you a ride. And then some other guy will be like, hey, can you give me a ride? Yeah, fucking hop in. And then he'll be like, hey, you want to grab a drink with me? Sure, I'll grab a drink. I'm like, dude, you
That's a-
cannot take 5 people home, have a drink with 5 strangers, and then go and fucking have a beer with the person that you initially had plans for. You do it all the time. You do it every
completely
day.
made up scenario. But
It's
yes,
not.
okay, go on.
That would stress me out. I can't be late.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you could be late unless something happened.
Look, I
I don't know, Tony. How can you be late all the time and not be stressed out?
Well, it's easy, Eric. I'm not late.
Just drink and
Because it's such an exaggeration. Eric's fucking like, oh yeah, 6 hours late for this. I picked you up. We're early for this podcast. Just so everyone knows, while you're listening to this, we are early for this. This is the earliest podcast.
We were early.
ever. Now, last week I
so
was
early.
late for this podcast because I did a birthday cake for this girl who's depressed. Kelsey Lane, shout out to you. Hope that made you happy.
Did it work?
It did. You should have seen how happy she was.
Okay.
Yeah, we had all fucking day to get it. Got off
Did
2
I?
hours,
Did
2
I?
hours before I did from
Oh,
work.
yeah,
And then
that
he's
was-
like, Tony will always pick me up before we go to the podcast. Normally he was on the street, so it makes sense.
You're the reason
So-
why we're late. You got home late and then you
I'm not.
fucking. I could have been here on time and you just fucking Uber. I'm like somehow you're a chauffeur. This is not about
You still were late.
Anywho, Chris, this is about you. Side bet. Mr. Punctual over here.
It's sidebar that you guys need to go do
Yeah.
some exploring. I guess.
We'll work this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Maybe write down some.
Got me in a
some
mood
things,
over
you
here.
know?
Yeah.
Get you all fired
Yeah.
up.
So there I was early. So, what the fuck were we talking about for you just
I don't know.
well, there was an actual like thread of thought there until you
Time flies when you're not on time.
That's why I'm always early now.
Time does fly. I can't keep track of time anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if it happened last week or like 4 months ago.
Well, you also live in like a 0 season state now. You're like back
Same with here though. There's like
Yeah.
for sure. But like I
it's
feel
just
like
perfect.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
It's just
No,
perfect.
this has been like
It's so
California.
nice.
taking
Take
a
that,
real
everyone
shit.
else.
It's so nice. I love California.
I do too, but there's just like the we've had we're still kind of like barely creeping out of winter, and it's fucking like almost June. And it's just like, all right, come on, if we get some like just consistent sun.
Yeah, but
Again.
our summers they'll kick in and then they'll last longer too. Though, like
You think the
fucking
weather
summer
is taking
till, like,
after me and it's
October
running
shit.
later? Because that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
The sun's a little behind.
Bringing
You know,
it
told
back.
you
You've
much.
rubbed off on this
Yeah.
state. You've been
Yeah.
here too long.
Yeah.
But I've never lived in like a place that has seasons. I don't know if
Really?
I want to.
It's from
I
Arizona,
can't
dude.
take
Yeah, I
cold,
guess
so
so.
I'm like,
Yeah, you can have it. I have no desire to ever do that again.
Do you ever
No,
plan on
but-
like moving back to California?
if I had a bunch of money, I'd move back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you have tons of money, this is the place to be.
If you have tons of money and like to not know where your taxes go with that money, then
Yeah.
you just fucking come
or
here and
if you
dump it out.
or if you have no problem living with like roommates and being in your 40s.
Well, I mean, that's got a thing too, but I mean, it depends what you want to do, right? Like, if you have a reason to be out here, like if you're doing something where you have to be out here or you just love being here, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if not, what you're paying for rent, you could buy a house somewhere and build equity and build wealth
Yeah.
and sell it and come back, or sell it and do something else, or at least build a life. And if you want to come back,
It's true.
fly back and you'll still save money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all my
I like
friends to
being
move
in
to
this shit,
Arizona.
though.
So move to Arizona,
Yeah.
and then we fly back for your shows and come back and
Yeah.
build some wealth.
How is real estate in Arizona? Like you would know
It-
for sure because you're like all in the housing market. you
Yeah,
know,
I mean
doing
it's crazy. It's more expensive than it should be, but you guys are
Fine
still
to me,
paying more on rent than we are on mortgages.
Yeah.
You
Do
know?
you ever see? Do you see it coming down anytime soon, or any catalyst that might bring the cost down, or is it just kind of? I feel it's going to just
if
kind of
interest
stay there.
rates come down, it's one that would do it. But if your house is worth 500 today, why would you sell it for less?
Right.
But interest rates right now are what's messing things up
Yeah.
because they're so high, or at least high what they used to be. It's kind of like a new normal, but
My parents were telling me when they bought their house, their interest rate was like 19%.
mhm.
Yeah,
so-
house on a
And
credit
we're like,
card.
this
Yeah.
is insane. It's at 7%,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Fuck you."
we
I
just
was-
have a short term memory. So people say it's never been worse. I'm like, it's been a lot worse. Like
Mhm.
times I
Yeah.
think are actually getting better and better for overall for most people.
Yeah.
But I think people
Yeah.
just forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
also
had that.
like our parents, it was a goal for them to get married or whatever and buy a house. It was not our goal.
Well, it's also not an achievable goal
You
though,
know?
because interest rates
Right.
may be lower, but the cost of a home is like exponentially larger. Where it's just like you're adding decimal points. You know.
Yeah, but I
that.
mean, like, if you want to buy a house, you either make a bunch of money or you go work for a corporation where you have that money income and you have that security and get a loan. If you work in not a high income or a high benefit place and you expect to do what your parents did when they did that,
Of course,
it's
Well,
kind
that's-
of
I mean,
not
yeah,
really.
You
Right.
can't work at Walmart and be like,
Yeah.
why can't I buy a mansion? Well, it's fucking like
Yeah, I'm like, minimum wage
ridiculous.
is not going to get you a house.
demand higher wages. It's like,
Yeah, so because I hear that all the time, like, oh, it's not affordable. I'm like, I don't know. You seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Most people that say that are always doing just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I don't know. I like at this point being back in like my little bachelor pad and shit, and like not having a roommate and stuff. And that's kind of the thing about having roommates.
I'm right
is
here,
Yeah.
Tony.
Well, exactly. Stay over there, dude. We
Not
don't
having a
negative of a
fucking
roommate.
shitty
Could you
roommate
imagine living with
anymore.
this fucking guy?
Person.
Yeah, just like, hey, buddy, guess what you did wrong today? It's like, what? What, mom?
You're fucking late again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're late. You didn't
So-
take the fucking trash out.
Like just the fact of having like the silence. I had like, I don't know, I just had that moment yesterday because I didn't have my kid. I did a show. I came back to my apartment and it's just by myself. It's fucking the way I left it. It's silent.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you save having a roommate, you end up paying for with your lack of privacy, right? Where like you can't, walk around with your balls out or talk to yourself. What the fuck you want to do?
Well, I
you know
mean,
what I mean? Like,
I don't really want to do that, but
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well then don't lay on my couch because it's fucking free balling all over that bad boy.
It's rubbing balls.
Just nut
all
marks
over it.
everywhere. Just stamping it. Yeah.
Drag marks all over the
That's like what
fucking-
you've been missing.
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
gotcha. Okay.
Never realized that until I had my own place. I'm like, oof.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Have you ever lived by yourself?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Really?
For
you, had
small
you had your own
stints, yeah.
place?
Yeah, it's fine. I like it.
This is my first time. Like, I was 40 years old when I got my own place for
Yeah.
the first time. I was like, okay. And then I have like my little broke ass roommate, my kid, like 3.5 days a week. So
Little freeloader.
that's like, yeah, he's an adorable little,
Fucking little freak.
non-contributing like freeloader. But yeah, he's
Do you guys see yourself moving out of LA?
fuck no.
if
dude.
your kid came with you?
No.
No?
I like LA. I mean, in
Never?
fact, I was like happy to get back from South Central back to like Hollywood proper and stuff because like just like this is where all the shit happens. And also too, I mean, I've been out here for like 21 years this September. So
Yeah.
it's like I spent more than half my life out here and I really did a lot of growing up. So like a lot of like, my first bar experiences and all that kind of stuff like legally were
Mhm.
here. So like I was kind of acclimated to that. So that year and some change when I moved back to Wisconsin and wrangled Eric and moving out here, which I regret.
It's fucking dead
Yeah.
weight.
Ugh, never again.
Which I regret.
Yeah, like it was like this. Just it was so weird because I remember like going out. I'm like, hey, let's go. It was a Tuesday. We were like done doing construction for the day. I'm like, let's go to the bars and shit. And like we went out and it was just a fucking ghost town. Like no one anywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. And that's nothing wrong with that. But like used to be.
Oh, yeah.
You go out any day of the week here, you're gonna see people doing like just there's like a vibe and stuff like that. And like
Yeah, or
And
see a concert or see someone
yeah, but it's just
perform
nice
that
to
you're
see
like,
people
oh,
out
shit,
enjoying life. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the selling point. Even just like the fly on the wall, people watching thing. I enjoy that kind of stuff. And
Yeah. Yeah. I did love people that are here, like came here they love being here. They're like,
Yeah.
I wanted to be here. Like I wanted to move to California since I was a kid. I loved it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the
same.
license plates and like just
sure.
everything about
Yeah.
it. Loved it. But other
California
places have
raisins.
that too. Other places have like towns or cities where the people like love their stuff. They're like,
For
we're
sure.
So
There's,
happy
like, I
to be
mean,
here.
True. I mean,
I'm sure
people
you traveled
love,
enough markets that like
Yeah.
people love
Yeah.
like Milwaukee back home. They're like, brewers die, like all
Milwaukee's
that
got a-
shit, but it's like
Yeah.
a different
Yeah.
vibe. Like
it's a different
I need a
love.
different kind of motivation the older I
Yeah.
get. I need people to be like super pumped about like going out or doing something and like experiencing something. And you have that constant flow of people that are just like super starry eyed and like, oh my God, this is the coolest place ever. You're like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll go out tonight.
I
like,
love it.
then-
Before we came, we stopped at this little brewery over on La Brea and something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there was like a huge orange rabbit with a hat at a table. And I was like, welcome back to
You
Hollywood.
talking
This
about
is
the one that's like
totally fine. It used to be like a Firestone or
Exactly.
something.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, but like you don't see that back in
No,
Arizona.
dude, our last time
Yeah.
I was there.
Somebody would be like, "Where's a rabbit outside the house?
Yeah.
Everything belongs
Yeah.
inside."
yeah. Someone call the cops on
yeah.
it.
There was a night that I was
rabbit
there.
fucking Sundays, whatever.
And there was two different groups of like white chicks with like white dogs that were trying to get them to howl, going like woo, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And like they were doing it. I was just kind of like, yeah, only in LA in this
Yeah.
weird little thing because I would never fly back home in Wisconsin. Like, get the fucking dog out of here, put it outside, the backyard dog, that type of shit. But
Yep.
it is interesting. I like that place. I like that another like niche thing where they renovated a old Firestone service station. Have you been
Yeah.
there?
It's cool.
Where is that?
It's on La Brea and like Wilshire, I want to say.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I saw that. I've driven
Yeah,
by
yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
cool. It's like
It's
a
cool.
1950s like old
Yeah.
gas station.
Yeah, and they have little video games, and there was like a flea market inside,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
There's like
Yeah.
a taco truck in there and shit.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's
LA
cool.
Hollywood definitely has like stuff always happening, and nobody cares what you do.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. And they're
Right.
like, that's cool.
You've
Yeah,
been living
yeah.
here as long as I have. There's
Good
like
on you.
still
Cool, man.
Yeah.
several like places I've never even like ventured into, like secret little,
Yeah.
speakeasy type spots and shit like
Yeah.
that. And like, Davy Wayne's and those type of places. There's like a fucking dozen of those that I've never even walked into yet.
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah,
you've been to Davy Wayne's, right?
No, I never went.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
never made it out there.
I could have sworn
We
we
did
like,
have
I
Wayne's
didn't go out.
tonight?
I didn't go out much though. I just played music and practiced and
Yeah.
tried to do something with music when I was here.
yeah.
You could do that tonight if you want.
Hey, maybe we'll see where the
We'll
night
get
takes
frisky,
us.
baby. It's a holiday weekend.
Hey, that's right. I didn't work till Tuesday.
But that's like the place where you like go and like it looks like a garage
Yeah,
sale.
I've heard about it. I know what it is, but I just no.
Those
when
of
I
you
was-
at home that don't live in LA, there's a place that looks like it's like a converted home into a bar, but you walk into the garage and you open the refrigerator, and that refrigerator then opens up into like a living room, and it's like all
Yeah.
70s themed and like
Yeah.
Those are getting popular. There's a few of those in Arizona.
Yeah.
Like speakeasy type. You go down and say some password, they get emailed,
yeah,
try to make it cool.
yeah.
And you walk through like a bookcase or something. And
hmm There's one in Milwaukee that's like that, like was it Spy House or what the hell is it called?
In Milwaukee?
Safe House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
You have to
oh,
say
that's
like
so
you have to
funny.
say
I
a
totally
password,
forgot
right? So
about
there's
that.
like there's cameras in the entranceway, and there's monitors in the bathroom and throughout the bar and stuff like that, and like
Dude, I
you
totally
don't have the
forgot
password.
about that.
they kind of make you do some stupid dance or something, kind of put you on blast in the front entrance and stuff like that. But like, I'm looking for a safe house. What
Yeah.
the password is, and they let you in. If you don't say that, they're like, do the chicken dance or some shit like that, and then they'll let you in. But
Yeah, and they have
everyone-
video cameras
yeah.
of showing everybody trying to get in that don't have a
Yeah,
password.
and then like certain like
That's
bar
kinda
stools at the bar will just start to slowly lower on them, and you're like, kind of fucks with your like perception stuff, and like there's a whole bunch of little weird niche things like that in there. But yeah, it's a cool spot. But
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Never been out that way. I
Never
stay
been
away
walking?
from the cold areas.
Yeah.
Go
In the
to-
summertime,
yeah,
it's good. You'd
summertime,
like it
yeah.
in the summer.
Yeah.
it's like a
Summer's-
2-week window when it's tolerable.
Yeah, summer's beautiful. Like in the summertime in the Midwest and Wisconsin is really nice. Summerfest, big music festival, the world's largest
down.
music festival. You'd really dig that.
I'm down.
It's really fun.
Dude, since I stopped playing music full time, I go to so many shows.
Yeah.
Really?
I love it. Oh, it's so fun.
What's the best
I need
concert
to
you've
go to
been to
more
recently?
shows.
The best one, man. Probably my favorite was Thundercat.
Okay.
You know that guy, bass
yeah.
player?
He's fucking dope.
Mm.
Of course,
He's-
that makes perfect sense.
I've seen him like 3 or 4 times. But the
I didn't-
venue
Yeah.
and my preferred show is like with a balcony that I can sit down and there's like
Yeah.
a table and a bartender. So I
Yeah.
can see the show but not be in the huge crowd
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
tall people that I can't see
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. He's killer. The sound
Yeah.
was great. Got some drinks, hung out.
Does that make you want to like get creative? Whenever I go to a show now, it's having not played for like 7 years. I'm
Yeah.
like, I get all these grandiose ideas. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna start writing again. I'm gonna get back out there and all this stuff. And then I'm like, the next day, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, well, it's the time trade off, right? Like
Yeah.
I miss like being in a group where we write, hang out together, and like share things, and like
Yeah.
this is our song we wrote.
Yeah.
But I know that's like 5 hours a day for 4 weeks. Is this? And I was like, fuck, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm trying to make a living. I'm trying to I don't want to be like 80 years old and fucking working 3 jobs and shit, you know? It's like,
Yeah, I'm trying to build something where I can maybe retire someday or have somebody else run it while I live my life. But
right.
I do miss playing, performing, but I see like the opportunity cost or what that is to do it the way that I wanted to. And I'll play shows for fun here and there, charity shows, but
yeah, you said you have a couple things coming up.
I got a wedding next year. I played a charity event a few months ago, but nothing like what I was doing before.
Yeah. You were on the grind for a minute, man.
Yeah, who was that guy that you used to play for? That you did at the Viper Room?
Oh, Sinjin?
Yeah, what was
Sinjin
that guy?
Tate?
What was that song that he did?
Oh, Save Me.
Oh yeah,
Save
Me. That song.
Yeah, that was fun. That was cool.
Yeah, you got to play with that guy. That was cool.
That guy was cool. I've done some fun stuff, but it's hard. We don't make any money doing it, so it's like
I look at it like that. Like that's the reward. Like you have like this little like diary of little things that you've got to experience because of music, and regardless if you got paid for them or not, it's like you couldn't pay like thousands of dollars to be on stage and play that, you know. People would, or some people would, you know, to have those experiences that you've got to have through your musical career and trying to you know.
I've had a very fortunate life as a whole. I've always like tried stuff and done it, and if I want to do it, I go do it and I experience it, and then I kind of move on from it.
Yeah.
So now when I look back, I'm like, I had a great time. I played music full time. I moved to LA. I did all these things I want to do. So now when I slow down a bit, I'm not like looking back as like, oh, I miss the good old days.
Yeah.
Like somebody, I forgot who said it, but it really resonated with me. It was some guy said that today is the good old days of tomorrow. So like enjoy your days today.
Yeah.
As if they were like the good old days you're looking back on. Like, don't look back at like, oh, when I was 22, I used to do this. And then you're like, oh, I wish I could do that. It's like, no, you did that. It was fun.
Yeah. Right.
And you're building those days you can look back on now.
Yeah.
Just freaking enjoy where we're at.
Yeah. It's like a movie.
Do it.
Being present, man, is key. That's probably the greatest takeaway from being a parent is just the fact of like, you know, being like present with your kid, and that it seeps into the rest of your shit. And I mean, you have that with like dogs or your significant other and stuff like that, but like really kind of actually being in the moment with, even like this podcast is one of those things where like get to check out for like a week and just kind of like kick it with someone for an hour and really have an actual fucking like dialogue and stuff. And,
no phones and like,
that's
like,
cool.
You know,
I like it. I listen to it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Everyone on here is pretty cool. It's fun to listen to. It's like I'm hanging out with you guys, but I'm not the same.
Now you're really here. You two at home can eventually get on this podcast.
I get to hear it all.
It's like that. There's like that meme of it's like what it's like listening to a podcast, and it's this kid and he's sitting next to a poster of like a bunch of people like laughing and having a good time, and he's just sitting there like drinking a beer or whatever.
That's me.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. It's, you know. But yeah, it's nice to be able to have a place where we can kind of a little clubhouse and hang out with people and just shoot the shit and like get to know people.
Yeah, it's cool.
Learn about their life experiences. Like, I think the older that we all get, the more we all question, like, you know, what the fuck is all this? You know, like, what is life? What are we doing? How are we doing it right? How are we doing it wrong? How can we do it better? You know, and I think no matter how successful you are, unsuccessful you are, wherever you are in life, you have those like questions, and nobody knows the answer. And so that's why you can never have someone on that like, you know, this is exactly, it's like, no, nobody fucking knows. So it's like always great to get someone's perspective on that, of like where they want to go, what they think they want to, you know, what they want to do with their life.
Yeah. It's like scary and free when you realize your parents don't know what the hell they're doing. And like adults don't feel like they're adults yet.
Yeah.
You know, like I just turned 41.
Happy birthday.
But I don't feel like a 41-year-old person.
No.
I feel like what I thought over the hill 41 would be.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's what you used to call 41.
Well, that's the funny thing, dude. Is
but
like
I mean,
you know, when our parents turned 40, it was like the black balloons and gray fucking streamers, and it was like, oh, over the hill. Did you get your burial plot picked out and shit? It was like a big thing. And then like, you know, when we kind of hit that milestone, just kind of like, oh shit, so this is 40. Okay, cool. Like, and then just, you know, keep on moving. But like, I don't know. It's just like I do feel like the 41st birthday, right? It's just kind of like, it doesn't hit as much as and I don't think the 30, I think was a bigger fucking like, oh shit, your 20s are over. And then 40, you're like, yeah, I know the fuck I am. I know what I want out of life. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like getting older.
Yeah, it
I really
doesn't.
do. I mean, physically, you got to work a little harder and watch what you do, kind of, depending on what you want to look like and feel like. But,
Yeah.
but
Wait, how
But-
old were you when you blew your fucking like knee out or whatever that was?
when I was
climbing?
here, my ankle.
Yeah, ankle. Yeah.
When was
in your
that?
20s?
Probably.
Yeah.
When I moved out here in like 2008, I was like 25, 26.
Yeah.
So I was probably in like my early 30s.
Surprised you're still holding up.
That thing's great now.
It's a killer.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. But no, getting old's fun. I mean, I like it. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I
Yeah.
know what I want to do. I'm
Yeah.
more confident. If I want to do something, I know you can just go do it. And with technology, you can learn anything
Yeah.
like that. You have the whole world's
YouTube
knowledge
University.
at your fingertips.
Yeah. 100%.
Like you no longer have to apprentice with somebody or ask somebody older than you to teach you something and have them say, fuck you. Like you can learn all this stuff, whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
The only thing stopping you is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that mindset of like, oh, like, you know, I'm 40, or like we're talking about like, oh, I'm over the hill now and all this shit. It's like that's like such a mindset that was been like ingrained in so many people that's why they live the way they do. It's because like they don't take it like I watched something where this doctor was talking about like old age and like people getting old and getting like, you know, like being unhealthy and stuff like that. And she was saying, regardless of if you eat cheeseburgers every day and smoke cigarettes and drink beer or whatever, the majority of people will live to be in their 70s. It's how you are when you get to that age that is the difference. So someone that actually like was conscious of what they're doing, or a little health conscious, you know, maybe not eating cheeseburgers every day and fucking smoking cigarettes, like that person, when they get to 70, they're going to have a more enjoyable life than someone that doesn't. And that was like the takeaway. I was like, oh, like, yeah, that's true. Like most people do live to be in their 70s, and a lot of people like have horrible habits, but you're going to make it to that. It's just like, how do you want to, how do you want your body to be and your mind to be once you get there? Do you want it to be like sharp, or, you know, or do you want it to be just like a fucking broken out car with blown out tires and it's just like putting around, you know, you're like
wobbling down the street.
Yeah. Like it's just, it all depends on that. Like, and living out here in places of warmer climate, obviously people are more motivated to be outside and be more active and all those kinds of things. But you see that perspective kind of like, you don't get to see when you're in a place of cold weather or in a place where people don't have that same mindset, where you're like, oh shit, like you can be 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 and be like, you know, walking or going on a jog every day, or like, you know, doing normal things. You don't have to be like in a wheelchair or fucking like, you know, decrepit or fucking, you know, like miserable, like everything hurts and this fucking sucks, you know, like, like,
or you can move.
Yeah, you can move.
Like,
yeah, it's true.
The system is working. Your life is exactly how you want it.
Yeah.
If you didn't really want it, you would change something.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but it's working. If you're where you're at, that's where you want to be.
Right.
If not, you would change it.
Right. And you have no one to blame but
you can
yourself.
always move. You can always find a new job. You can always do something else. But I think people just like to complain about it. It's like, that's how they communicate.
That is the blue collar mentality, though. It's just like, this bullshit ass job, this fucking bullshit ass wife. It's just like, well, then fucking like leave her and get a new job. Like, just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like,
what?
Leave
what
the
are you
job,
doing?
leave the wife, just start over.
Yeah, after you're an adult, you made all these choices and you're still making them every single day.
Can't catch your breaks. Like, you're making a lot of bad shit decisions.
Yeah, either
like,
shut up or
gotta make your own break
or move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Living a good life.
Well, no, but it's nice. I mean, yeah, getting old. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
I like it.
You don't got no gray hair either, man. You're fucking.
I'm gonna have a little bit. I
Just
try to
like-
pull those
I
things
have a
out.
fucking
Oh, I
shit ton
see.
of gray. I am all gray hair.
Really?
Listen.
Where? I can barely see.
I know, right? You know, I really look for it. Somewhere in this region around here.
Yeah, you know it's getting there.
Dude,
It's
leave
funny,
the
though,
grays
it's like-
in. Don't pluck them. That shit's cool.
No, I
I
wouldn't-
fucking dig gray hairs. I'm like, whatever. If I think as long as you got gray hair,
Gray hair
it's
is
better
hair.
than no
I'm trying to
hair.
keep all the
yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Well, I've been up on the him stuff for a few years now. I think it's
Yeah.
keeping it.
Yeah,
Him?
it looks good. It looks
It's
good on the
working.
hair.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I don't
Years ago,
dye
we
it
were
or
talking about,
anything.
you know, you're like, oh, Chris.
Yeah, but that oil stuff is garbage.
Yeah.
That's a horrible
Snake oil, dude. Literally
That's
is.
gross.
Yeah.
So I was on Hims for a while and I was putting that gross oil in my head every day, twice a day. And then one day the doctor was like, how's it working out for you? I was like, yeah, well, this is gross. And he's like, I'd stop taking it. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we've had results where it works fine without it. I'm like, what?
Fuck.
So we're doing the oil and like,
And it's like
foam?
Propecia, like pills
Oh,
or whatever
pill.
their brand is.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, this whole time.
You don't use Rogaine?
It's like the same ingredient,
Yeah.
but it's just that oil stuff that it's the same thing.
Because there's a Rogaine foam. Like
Yeah, well, this one it's all in a pill now,
Yeah.
so they have both those things in a pill you just take.
yeah.
I'm like, thanks, guy. A little too late, but
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Been having fucking
Take all that
greasy
shit,
head for
fuck
the
yeah,
last
Just
5
put
years.
olive oil on my forehead twice a day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, breaking out all the time. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's for nothing,
Yeah.
guy.
That's like the funny thing is like your hair looks even thinner when it's wet. So it's just like you got like
Yeah.
fucking greasy wet hair. It
What do you
looks
want,
thin.
like thin hair, or do you want just greasy head all
Yeah.
the time?
Yeah,
Because you have to wear a hat. What are you gonna do with that thing?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Either way,
Yeah.
it's sticking around.
Yeah.
It's sticking around. It's looking.
Well, your
sharp.
stress
yeah.
levels are definitely showing that you don't have a lot of it because there's no grays and stuff like that. And I can look at like photos of like pre fucking trauma in my life, and I was like,
Yeah.
I had some nice, thick, dark hair, and then there's like a certain X factor, a point of intersection, if you will.
That's where you got
Yeah.
your divorce.
And all of a sudden, it's just like, yeah, dude, like legit. I was like, my fucking wedding photo, I had like a little bit of gray hair here, but then like, surprise, surprise, you go through a pandemic and a divorce, I fucking look like Jay Leno now
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
So I had a kind of a question on a more of a serious topic. I know that you have been trying to have kids, and
Yeah.
Tony loves talking about kids. So this would be a good topic.
Eric's selling this.
Yeah.
I hope we could shoehorn the kid thing in here.
Fucking bring
Yeah.
up his kid and any fucking chance he can get. Like
Speaking of late, reminds me of my kid.
Yes. So I know that you and your wife have been trying to have kids for a while,
Mhm.
and
You ever just try to steal one?
yeah.
No, they don't run that fast.
And so the reason I was thinking about this, because I know that right now there's like this whole thing with a lot of the laws of IVF, right? And like it being illegal now. And I'm not sure where Arizona stands as far as any of those legal laws, like how they affect you, or if they are affecting you, or if, you know, where you guys are in that process or what. But I think it's something that's interesting for
The law's like dicey at the moment. We don't know where. I think it's supposed to be overturned. But I think the way it's going now, it's saying technically, if you make embryos and don't use them, you have to freeze them forever. Otherwise, it's an abortion.
Mm.
But the abortion stuff going on right now is a little insane to me. But I mean, everyone's got their own thing about it. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah,
Well, how has it affected, like how have the laws affected like your process of trying to create a family?
as of now, not yet.
But how,
Because but the possibility is
like have those conversations that you guys have where you're like, shit, if this doesn't work this time, then the next time this could be like, you could go to jail.
yeah, if the laws keep going the way they're going, yeah, it's possible. Because the fear is you implant an embryo, it doesn't go well, and you have to have an abortion. If that's not an option, it can cause damage to my wife. It can, it's a
Right.
health risk. If that's not an option, that's super risky. And then we might not make that choice. But as of now, it hasn't affected us that much. It's just sad to see
Yeah.
this.
So there's
issue
no
come
legislation in
about.
place that prevents that from you guys like going.
Not
like,
yet.
that's
We've heard
that's
that
illegal?
like that's where they're trying to go next is infertility and IVF and what we're going through.
Who is in
But,
charge of that in your area? Like who is the governor, or, like person that's pushing that propaganda or
Oh,
like that?
I have no idea.
Like
I have no idea.
answer.
I just hear this passes and I was like, what? Were we even talking about this? Like,
Yeah.
what is it?
We all decided while you're
But-
taking a piss that
But also, like, I'm not crazy into following politics at the moment. I just can't get it. I can't. It's too much stuff.
Yeah.
It's way too much stuff. I just can't do it.
Well, I
got a
mean,
business, Eric. He's trying to build homes, man.
Well, I mean, I vote and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I try to stay up with some conversations, but it happens so fast and there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't find out till it's already done.
Are you guys still trying? Like, where are you in the process? You trying to have another round, or
Well, so
taking a break, or
it's
what's
hard
going on?
because the doctors are like, we don't know why it's not working.
Yeah.
We've gone through like 5 rounds or so, and it's just, they're like, we don't know. We've done all these tests, all these things, and there's no like smoking gun to why it's not working.
Yeah.
They're like, you can keep going. I'm like, yeah, we can keep paying for it.
Yeah,
and,
for
like,
sure.
all the
Well, keep
trauma and
taking
the
your money.
emotional
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
and
Yeah, dude.
and
all the
IVF
stuff
is
that
not
goes wrong with it.
inexpensive procedure. It's
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
it's
expensive.
financially, but mostly it's just emotional.
does a lot of insurance cover IVF?
not our insurance.
Really? I mean, do most or is like
some big corporations do cover some of it, but we both own our business, so we have independent insurance, which is we pay a lot for not a lot. It doesn't cover any infertility, any IVF, nothing really.
What is you can tell me if this is too personal or don't want to divulge that, but for maybe people listening to that are trying to do what you're trying to do, the cost of that is a big factor in whether or not they can start a family or not. And if those things are kind of like weighed out, like, okay, say it costs like 20 grand to do IVF treatment and then it doesn't work. Well, okay, now we, and we don't have a kid, now it's like, okay, like how many times can we afford to do that, before it becomes like your finances are a real important piece of that family puzzle for a lot of people,
Yeah. It kind of feels like, if you're like gambling in the hole, you're trying to come back to negative.
For sure.
And if you stop gambling, you're never going to be positive. So the thing is, if you stop doing it, then you just spent 50, 60,000 for nothing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a weird, once you get into it, you're kind of in this weird spot where if you stop, you didn't waste the money, but you didn't see anything
from it,
positive and you have no answers at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, depending where you go, you could spend anywhere from 10 to 20,000 per round. I've talked to people that spend 100,000 and don't have any luck.
Really?
Or they'll do it for like 7 years and they'll finally get one that works.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. So don't give up hope, man. Because like Ness, Jeremy's ex-girlfriend, I don't remember her.
She's fucking doxing the shit out of people right now.
No one knows what the fuck that is.
What?
No one knows who any of those people are.
Dox?
But regardless, like
doxing. That's what I
she
said the
ended
first
up
time.
like
You drop someone's name on there, and then like you don't really need. It's not necessary to say their names. You could be like, I have a friend who's a girl, whatever. That doesn't. That's right. It's episode 46. He's only done this 46 times.
No. Regardless,
Carry on.
A mutual acquaintance of ours.
Sorry, Alex.
Had done like the IVF stuff, and she'd done it for a while, and she was kind of like older and so that, and like I just remember talking to her about like the woes of that and stuff, and then finally it took, and she had like twins and shit, and like her kids are fucking like super smart and healthy, and like it just like but she kept trying it because she wanted to have kids, and fucking it took, and then boom.
Yeah, it's tough.
So fucking,
and age plays a big part.
Yeah,
I say if you want to have kids, do it young.
Yeah.
Mainly for the females. I mean, the guys, your sperm gets disabled as it gets older.
Yeah, bros don't have that shelf life.
No, I mean, it's tricky, man. But I mean, I wasn't ready for kids at a young age, so I didn't do it. But if you want to have kids, do it young. Everyone that asks me if they should do it or not, I'm like, don't do it, man. IVF is traumatic.
Yeah.
It's expensive, it's traumatic, and it could get you nothing.
Dude, even just when you finally get the kid.
It could potentially get you in jail.
Depending where you live.
Right.
But I mean, it's tough, man. It's really, because the human body is so different. The doctors, some of them are the best in the world. And they're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. We had all these tests we're supposed to find out, and it doesn't tell you anything.
You kind of come to that realization too with doctors as well. These people that you put on a high pedestal growing up, like, oh, they know all the answers, and like a lot of them, they're just like, I don't know, I'm an adult. Someone told me I'm an adult now, and I'm a doctor now. I have more of these like accolades attached to my name, but I'm just as fucking clueless as anybody else. Like I had the same thing with my like losing my sense of taste and smell from COVID and going to doctors.
I still can't smell that well.
Yeah, and they're really So can you taste though?
I mean, I think so, but I don't know.
If you think so, then probably
we went to Moorea and we're on this like tour, and it was beautiful. It's like in the Tahitian Islands, and it was incredible. When this like off-road touring, and they stop in this little like jungle bar thing.
Yeah.
And you smell that's called like sour sop. It's supposed to smell like rotten feet. And I was like, I don't smell anything. And they were like, oh no. I was like, no, it smells like fresh air. And I'll smell anything.
It smells delicious. Yeah.
I was like a few years ago, and they were like, it's supposed to smell real bad. And ever since then, I was like, I think I lost my smell. Now I can't smell hardly anything.
Yeah, man. So you got this interesting. You have the same thing I do.
Kelly's, you smell it? I was like, it smells like fresh, clean air to me all the time.
Yeah. So what about your taste? So like, can you taste certain things? Like
I think so, but I mean,
I can taste sweet and salt, but that I don't have a flavor palate. So when I describe to people, they're like, oh, so you can still taste it. I'm like, no, I can only taste if something is sweet or if it's salty or if it's like sour or like like spicy, but no flavor attached to those senses.
Yeah.
So like all my food is like General Tao's chicken kind of shit, or like, you know, hot and spicy, or fucking sweet and sour, like that kind of stuff. Cause I'm not really getting a flavor of anything, like, you know, so I can't smell anything. Obviously they're all tied together.
Yeah, I'm sure I've lost some of my taste, but not that I noticed, but yeah, the smell's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never came back.
Yeah. So like, again, going back to like, doctors and adults and just not knowing what the fuck's going on. Like, I've gone to so many doctors. I've talked to like people that are much more like, you know, wealthy and have more means than I do, and be like, they have the same problem. I'm like, hey man, there's no fucking like special doctor like you can slip some money to that will fucking fix this shit. And they're like, no, like every doctor, every person I've talked to with this problem is like,
trying to buy a homeless guy's nose.
Yeah, it's too new of a virus and too new of a disease or whatever it is that there's no study on it, so there's no cure.
Which is funny because like it took him 6 months to make a vaccine. It's just like, I don't know how to fix that sense of smell. That's a long problem. Like,
I mean, yeah, I'm hoping one day.
I'm sure it'll come back.
I mean, it's my brother's wife has the same thing, and it's been over like almost 3 years now. Myself, it's about 3 years. I had the same thing where I was in Mexico and everyone was drinking banana daiquiris, and I was like, oh, that looks fucking good. It's blending up the banana and the fucking thing, you know, it's killing all that shit. I'm like, that sounds good. I'm gonna grab one of those. So I drank it, and I'm like, it's so weird. I can't taste banana. Banana's like a pretty pungent, flavor. You know, you can usually taste that. I'm like, oh, I'll have another one. I had another one. And I'm like, I just tasted it. It's a sweet, cold drink. And I'm like, I liked it. It's great. But I'm like, I can't taste the banana. And then
cut to like 5 and like, I'm fucking hammered, but I can't taste. I can taste the alcohol, but where's the goddamn banana?
I fucking saw him put it in there. These magical bananas.
What kind of magic blender is this?
Magic nanos. And so,
yeah, can you blend less of the banana flavor out?
But yeah, like on that trip, I was like, oh shit, like it didn't like, it's because it's like a slow like thing. Like you don't really realize that it's gone until like you're like, oh shit, like, you know, like something is burning. You're like, I don't smell anything, you know, or like it's something very like noticeable that you should be smelling that you're not. And you're like, oh fuck. Another thing was that I put cologne on. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with this cologne? Fucking this lump of water in here? And I'm like, like all over myself. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm like, do I smell? Can anybody smell
like
this?
a French whorehouse.
Like, Jesus Christ, you fucking have so much cologne. I'm like, fuck, I can't smell none of this. And I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have fucking sense of smell anymore. I was like,
it's got to come back though. Because they're saying that you can regrow like brain cells. And if you have a stroke, people like relearn how to do things so their brain reconnects stuff. It's got to be able to come back eventually.
I fucking hope so, because I really miss the taste of pizza and cheeseburgers and all that shit. Like,
you gotta stop eating those, man. But I love those too. Yeah,
I still eat all that shit. I still eat it like when I can, you know, like I'll fucking have it. And I think it's more of like a mental thing. I eat out of like texture. So I'm like, even like I can't taste the full burger. It's like the texture of like a lettuce and the meat and the bun and like all that and the French fry and the crunchiness, like all that shit. And then ketchup is sweet, you know, and like, I don't know. There's like, I'm accustomed to it now. So it doesn't like, I'm not like bummed out. I'm like, oh, I can't taste my fucking eggs today, you know, or whatever. I'm just like,
maybe you just got to relearn. You got to take some ketchup and tell yourself, this is tangy and sweet. Like a little kid again.
This is like a fucking psychopath when I'm fucking at a restaurant. Yeah. And this is a French fry.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking
French and fry.
Retrain those things.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. It'll just fucking whatever.
It's the new normal. That's how you are now.
I just fucking give up on everything. I'm just like, whatever. This is me now. I don't fucking taste or smell shit. I'll just live the rest of my life like this.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
There's worse things.
Yeah, exactly. I walk past worse people every day that are like homeless, fucking no shoes. I'm like, yeah, I don't have shoes for fucking like 6 months.
Yeah, but they're having a great time. Every time I see them, they're loving life.
Urban campers, yeah, they're fucking living it up. Yeah, I do envy them sometimes. I'm like, man,
I've never envied that at all.
One of these days, I'm just gonna say fuck it, and I'm gonna be hanging out with those guys and be like, all right,
you are number one candidate for sure. The guy who wanted to live in his fucking truck for like the last 10 years,
still do.
Airplane hangars.
When you take that thing out on the road for a long time and just live in it, see how it goes.
I know, I gotta do it. I don't know. I'm like
fucking drive.
I'm like you. I'm just trying to fucking just gather some fucking cash so I don't have to do this bullshit anymore. I can just fucking retire. At the earliest I can retire, I want to retire. So now I'm just focused on that. Just acquiring enough money and assets till I don't have to fucking do anything anymore.
There you go.
And that's the goal.
Well, move out of LA, buddy.
I can't.
You save more money if you go somewhere else and come back when you retire.
Can't make as much money. Like that's
that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like a.
But you have
trade-off.
lower bills.
But I don't go anywhere. I
Yeah.
don't do nothing.
Still?
This podcast is what I do.
Eric's got himself set up where
Yeah.
his overhead's very minimal.
That's the
as
way to
far
go,
as-
though.
Yeah, because he's
That's-
like his
I've been in the same place since you lived there
Yeah.
earlier. So
Has
you
that
know,
rent stayed the same?
No, it goes up.
it's only
you
going
know,
up like $500.
it's
since
like
we lived in there.
it's like I forget the percentage, but it goes up every. They stopped during COVID, and
Yeah.
then actually just this past year they started increasing again. But
That's not bad.
it's still beneficial for me to live there and not like move from there.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so it's nice. But even being able to live here and save money and stuff like that too, like I wouldn't be able to live in my own neighborhood like anymore. And I love this neighborhood. I love the neighborhood I live in. I love the town. I love all the
Yeah.
shit that we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, it's
so it's
great.
like, you know, like the juice is worth a squeeze for me still.
Yeah.
Once it's not, then the truck is fucking that's plan B.
Get the Dodge.
And it's
get
like
it
when they're
out.
like, yeah, your rent's fucking $4,000, and I'm like, all right, fuck this, and I'll just be like, now I
Get
live
the fuck in the
outside of my
Dodge, yeah.
apartment now, you know.
Yeah.
Come to Arizona. I'm trying to get everyone to
Come
move
to Arizona.
Trying to get everyone to move over there. That's my plan.
Yeah,
Get all my friends to move back to Arizona.
Flagstaff. Looking at places in Flagstaff, like houses and stuff. That shit's fucking expensive too.
Flagstaff's
outside.
wait, were you
gotten
in Tempe?
expensive. Chandler. I
Chandler.
was in Tempe, but
Okay.
now I'm in Chandler. But
Alright.
they're like 5 minutes from each other.
Yeah. Okay.
They're all kind of like clustered together.
Yeah.
How far are you from Flagstaff?
2.5 hours.
Okay, so you're a little bit away.
Why you got such a
Yeah.
fucking boner for Flagstaff?
Because Flagstaff is the shit, man. It's beautiful up there. It's like mountains and
fucking
it's-
Dude,
flags
yeah.
and staffs.
And
dude.
there's snow, but there's cool restaurants now and breweries and good food. Before it was like a crappy like college town.
Yeah, it's
But now it's like, but homes are expensive.
Yeah, how much did shit change when you moved back when you're like, oh, this has gotten nicer?
Oh,
and
it
like,
got way better.
yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? Like, dude, I feel like that every time I go back to Milwaukee, where it's just like, it was this like dumpy, like industrial
Yeah.
brewery town and shit. And then like there used to be a smell when you drive in Milwaukee, you could smell the breweries. There's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a funk in the air. Yeah. And I
Weird
actually like,
hops.
you grow to like it. You're like, we're in Milwaukee. We're getting
Yeah,
close to the Brewer Stadium.
smells
and
like
shit.
shit.
Yeah,
We must
yeah,
be
yeah.
downtown.
We're getting close to County Stadium. I'm about to watch the baseball game.
yeah.
And now there's
Oh.
like not that. And it just kind of like takes away a little bit of that, like, oh man, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
There's,
it's
it was
like a nostalgic smell. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to smell it anyway if
Yeah.
it was around, but
yeah.
there is something about Arizona I wanted you to tell on this podcast. Your story
Let's hear
of
it.
the man who has gotten the biggest tip
Oh, geez.
ever,
Oh yeah.
and it's the best story because
What's it gonna
it
do?
happens. It happens out there. All you in the service industry.
Get out while
Chris
you
is
can.
Chris is your unicorn story here. He's your
I don't
fucking
know.
white buffalo. You
Listen,
know.
if you're in the industry, get out, man. I love my time. I love being a service fun, and the bartender was great. But man, get out.
Get out.
Get out of that shit.
You gotta find a loophole, man. We kind of stumbled on this loophole, the place that we will not say the name of where we work at, but
You
like,
place of business. I've heard it
Place
a
of
few
business,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, you do
Place of
business.
yeah, we do business at, yeah.
He knows.
And
He
you know,
watches.
it's a niche thing because it's a hotel in West Hollywood. So like the minimum wage is ridiculous, and then just like what we make is also stupid. And then it's got like a corporate structure where we have an HR and 401k and health insurance and stuff. And just you don't see that in the service industry.
Yeah, you guys
But-
found something else. But
Yeah.
in general, kids,
Yeah, yeah.
if you
If you're a
if you're gonna
Denny's,
be
yeah.
in the industry, you're gonna go out and make $100, and you're gonna go drink 60 of it with your friends, and you do it all over again, and you get stuck in the circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't do
that's,
it.
That's a big
Yeah.
problem too of the service industry. And I see a lot of
We
people.
did so
work
actually.
with
That's something else I wanted to talk about because we never.
Let's
Wait, you
hear
gotta
it.
wait.
Let's hear it.
Okay, okay.
Let him
yeah.
tell
Go
the
to the
story,
big-
and
the
then
big tip.
we'll go into like service pros and cons.
Oh, listen, I was bartending. I think I was like 22, 21,
Mhm.
maybe. And I don't know. I was just bartending, normal guy. Guy comes in all the time, talking to him. What's happening? How's your life going? They always ask you. People always ask you what you're doing. I was like, I'm a
Yeah.
musician. I'm gonna move to LA someday. I want to take my band on tour. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. And he was like, cool, whatever, normal stuff. And before he left, he wrote me a check. He gave me $15,000, which
Jesus
was
fucking Christ.
wild.
It's wild.
I thought it was 10,000.
That's outrageous.
15 grand is fucking insane.
15 G's, yeah. And he wrote on there like for tour or something. And I like could not believe it. Nicest guy. He left his number and stuff. And
That's that other part. Though.
yeah. So
What's his number and shoe size?
yeah. But I had my manager like call the bank because they could check like, hey, is this check real? And it was
Yeah.
real. The funds were there. I was like, holy crap. So I cashed it the next day.
Yeah.
put that money in my bank. My bank was like, where'd this money come from? This has never happened before. Like, but I told him all stuff, and it was incredible, man. I paid some stuff off, went on tour, called him. I was like, hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then he put the little twist. He was like, hey, I forgot to ask you. I'm like, oh, what? He's like, are you bisexual by any chance?
Of course.
I was like, no. He's like, all right, cool, man. Good luck. And I was like, thank
Just
God.
making sure, because that's gross.
Just making sure.
'Cause I'm not either.
It was a $15,000 question. He could have asked you for free.
Oh, you should have asked that before you gave it to me.
sure.
Yeah.
He's like, rats. Never mind. Okay, bye.
Thank God. But no, it was incredible. It does happen, I guess, but that was pretty special. Yeah, it changed my life for a while because I was working 2 jobs at the time. So I quit.
Only working 2 jobs at the
So
time.
I quit my servant job after that. Got out for a bit,
Yeah.
but it was cool.
It's
Yeah, that's the best story. I've yet to have, being in the service industry for fucking how long have you been? Like 17 years or some
6
shit
months, 8 months. Yeah. Pretty new. Yeah. Barely scratched service.
now. Like that's
Yeah,
still is the by far like the biggest tip I've ever heard anybody say.
Yeah, same. I don't know why he did it,
Yeah. Well, we
I
know
never-
why.
probably doesn't know
we
either.
know why.
but I mean, like, I never saw him again.
But I wanted, were you wearing like rainbow shirts and pride
Do you have
shit?
like Daisy Dukes on and we have fucking
I
puffy
was
lip
wearing
in them?
like those Red Lobster
You're like mashing
fish
up.
shirts.
Yes.
I probably smelled like fish.
Yeah.
It was
a fishnet
fishnet shirt,
or
hey, 15 G's.
Exposed
I'll wear a
midriff,
fishnet.
I was just wearing what I normally wear: fishnet shirt,
All
Daisy
right.
Dukes, fucking
Cut
cowboy
off,
boots.
cut off right below the chest.
Yeah. Had my hair in pigtails.
Hey, 15 G's. I'll wear whatever you
Muddling
want.
up his drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
No, yeah, he was incredible. I don't even remember his name, but he was incredible.
Whoever you are, that person out there,
Do it again.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stop there. There's
Yeah.
plenty of other people that might be
Yeah.
bisexual. You can pay $15,000 to ask that question.
Keep spreading the love.
Yeah.
Keeps
No, but back to what you're saying though, as far as like, spending your money you make, day of, right? So that's one of the biggest like downsides of like the cash tip thing, right? So you get cash and
Yeah.
immediately just burns a hole through your pocket, at least me especially. But like, when we were all living in the same complex, and then working at the same place, and then the late nights and early mornings, we're all kind of on that drive. And then I found that like pre-workout diet pill, the red and whites and shit.
Dude, those were incredible.
We brought
I
that up
want
the other
those
day.
back. I tried them again and they're not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't take them. I was like, oh, I'm going to die.
So for
They're not,
all
yeah.
for all you listeners out there, you're wondering what the red and white pills are. It was like a caffeine pill.
Well, I went to my supplement shop and I was like, I want to find something that's not like, I'd like a pre-workout drink, but I don't want to do all the sloshing around my stomach when I'm like jogging on the treadmill or whatever. So they're like,
Yeah, and there was a
"Oh,
guy
we'll
in the
just try
back
it."
being like, I got something for you.
Yeah, I want some right there.
Hold my
Pressure,
beer.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So it's like, it was a, super high caffeine. I don't know what other kind of fucking methamphetamines were in there and shit, but like there was something like the niacin or whatever that makes your body flush.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So like the best thing about it was like, I found them. I'm like, feeling pretty good and energetic and shit. And then I got everybody that we worked with.
Everybody was on them at work.
Just beat red for like an hour.
literally-
Yeah, exactly. So that was
it
the big
changed
thing.
your whole mood though. It was so like you took the 2 of those
Optimistic,
pills, you're like, this is the best day of my life. And then
Yes.
now that shit is like completely illegal. Like they can't sell it anymore with like, or
No,
even
they
when we
stopped.
were taking it, they
It's a shame.
stopped.
They changed the formula.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to put
Yeah.
whatever that magical chemical
But
is
let me
in
tell
there
you,
anymore.
we did Red Mountain Weight Loss. Red Mountain Weight Loss, shout out. Awesome. They do like assisted weight loss and they give you like an appetite suppressant. That was pretty close.
Yeah.
Really?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
So
Want to do it again?
there's 2 different. so,
Ozempic. Come on, let's try
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's like there was I think Synadrex was the original one, and then
Yep.
Synadrine was the knockoff. So this guy came up
Oh,
with
yes.
the Synadrex got fucking like shut down by the FDA, and then
Yeah,
Synadrine
of course.
basically took the formula over and kind of tweaked it slightly. And then these 2 guys were competing because they're like both like bodybuilding supplement guys,
Yeah.
right? And there's no longer the flushness of it, or really that kind of, because I felt like, I think we all thought it was like limitless, right? Where you're like no longer writing
Yeah,
down
that's what
orders.
did you
I just
call it the
memorized.
limit?
Yeah.
Chris was
I'm
like,
like catch stuff in the air.
Yeah.
Like, this
yeah,
is great.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the limitless pill.
Never drop anything. You're just Jackie Chan and shit. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a phenomenal thing. But
Yeah, I was.
we worked with a guy
sold.
whose name I will not say. That was like snorting them. You remember that?
So I'm surprised he's still alive because I see him online sometimes. I'm like, holy cow, he came out the other side.
Yeah.
He's still
He's
around.
still alive. He's definitely. But like there's just like that. And at the time, I think we were all kind of running ourselves ragged because we were all working a day job. daytime breakfast joint, and then go out and do shows at night and stuff like that. And like that was the pep in your step you needed the next day.
Well, that's how
But,
you
like-
do it. That's what you got to do out here.
Yeah.
Unless you have some money, but I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You got to work and then get off and go back to work.
Yeah, that definitely was more than a pep in your step. That was like a sprint in your
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't
Drugs,
need sleep. I
Yeah.
just need 3 red and whites. I'll be okay.
Heck of a drug. Yeah, those pills were phenomenal. I love those things.
Yeah.
I wish I would
They
have
were
bought like
so
12
powerful and
cases
so
of them.
good that we
Yeah.
all just have like a reminiscent, like, oh, I miss them.
Yeah.
They're so great. Those are the happiest
Well, then,
days of my
like,
life.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were so
Another
good.
buddy, I remember like the guy who got you the job at the place we worked at, right? So
Yep, yeah.
again, not doxing anybody. Took one and he was a little overweight and was just like, oh man, my heart's not feeling good. I'm like, oh fuck. Now like the one person that, like I thought everyone
Yeah.
he needed more than anyone. Like it's a fucking like
Yeah.
it's a appetite suppressant weight loss pill, and like I'm already a skinny guy. I just need the fucking caffeine. And he's like, but this is also the same guy that was like taking a 5-hour energy drink. He's like, that's too many hours. Do you have like a 3-hour? It's like,
Yeah, there was another person at work that would take him and then lay in bed and freak out all day. This is not what he's supposed to do.
yeah.
But no, yeah, bring those things back, man. I'm searching for that high again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were good ones. Not too many. I don't even smoke weed anymore. I haven't smoked weed
No.
in such a long
I
time.
just do some drinks from now
Yeah.
often. Old fashions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some whiskey, some wine.
Yeah.
No,
When's the last time you smoked weed?
What's that?
When's the last time you smoked?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I moved to Arizona. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like a chapter, I think.
Is it
Yeah,
is
I
it
mean-
legal in Arizona?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
There's just like, I mean, again, because at the point when we were all living in the same apartment building and shit like that, and we'd have like people coming over playing Call of Duty Zombies, and we'd smoke weed, and we'd go out to a bar or a show or whatever the fuck we were gonna do that night. Like there was just like, it was a very like a frat house type thing,
Yeah.
and it was like also, and too, I feel like when you're younger, it just doesn't like knock your like dick in the dirt as much as it does you get older. You're like, I don't feel like doing half the stuff I need to
Dude, speaking
do.
of that, I can't ride like rides anymore.
Yeah,
Like carnival rides or like-
Really?
oh no.
Like a roller coaster?
dude,
No,
I'm out
I'm
of
out.
practice with that shit too.
Why?
I'm done. No
what,
more.
What happens to you?
Wait till
So
you have that
there's
kid,
this
buddy.
place in Arizona, Castles and Coasters. It's like for kids.
Yeah,
So Kelly was like, my wife Kelly, she's like, let's go. I'm like, okay, it's for kids, but we'll go. And this ride like takes you up and holds you, then drops you. Dude, we went on that and it dropped me. We got off and I was like, I gotta sit down. I think my legs are gonna fall out. I'm gonna throw up. I don't know what happened to me.
Really?
And then I went on like a Ferris wheel at the Houston Fair and just wanted to go around. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't like this. I don't think they built it
Dude,
correctly. The bolts are not right. I gotta get off this ride. There's a clump. I just can't.
yeah, I get like that.
I can't
so,
do it anymore.
I
I
had
don't know.
like
I don't know what happened to me.
You're
couple-
just too aware of like everything. Whereas
Yeah,
like,
you're out
of
you're like
practice,
ignorant.
that's it.
You're like,
Because you just
Hey,
kinda
this
like-
is minimum wage. Who built this thing? This
For
was on
sure.
truck like
You're
2
like,
days
sure,
ago.
and you also have that
Uh-uh.
that like building mindset now too, where you're like, this is up
Yeah.
to code. You know what I mean? Where
Well,
they're
yeah,
like,
it should be a smooth and every so often clunk clunk. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no.
you're
we're
like,
gonna fall.
adults built this. I'm an adult. Adults are
Yeah,
idiots.
yeah.
Fucking what?
I can't. Yeah.
I saw like a guy
I
over
can't
there
do
picking
it.
his nose. He's the one fucking throwing
Mhm.
wrenches on this thing.
Yeah.
Dude, we went to
I
Disneyland
can't take it, man.
3 times with my kid this year,
No.
and
Pass.
even something as simple as the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. You go down like a bit. There's a drop right in the beginning, and it makes my stomach fucking like I get queasy every time. My kid's fucking grinning ear to ear, and the rest of the time I'm like, okay, I'm just a little like not as comfortable. But then we did like a roller coaster when there's like Thunder Mountain or some shit. It's like nothing crazy, but like you do like some kind of moves and stuff.
Faces
And there's
of
some
death.
G's.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But like my
Faces of
kid,
Death video, volume 20.
Yeah.
Fucking.
what that is, but no.
Watch his dad and his son get decapitated on the roller coaster.
yeah. Well, there's just like that again too. Like kids like that kind of shit, and it's cool seeing your kid. But like, there's like I know exactly what you're saying. Where I was like, I don't feel well. I feel kind of queasy off this, and like
Yes.
this would be nothing that would phase me in my younger years. But now that I haven't done it in a long time, it's throwing me off. Even the simulator shit, man. Like
Yeah,
we
but
did,
I,
like,
I don't want to put the hours to get back into it.
Fuck no. But
I'm out.
but I'm willing to do that for my kid. Like there's like that kind of shit where like I'm tired and he needs me to care. I'll care. Like you just kind of do that
Yeah,
shit as
but
a
can't
parent.
that not
and
be
stuff.
good for the kid to be jerking around its neck and stuff and be
Yeah, like
Well, yeah, I mean-
what is that, CTE? Like,
that adrenaline
Yeah.
boost and
I'm
stuff?
sure I got that from
It's
sports.
not that much rocking with the stuff at Disneyland, but like something as simple as like Soaring California. Have you ever been on that or Soaring? Now it's like Soaring
No,
the World.
let me
but
tell
like,
you, I'm not a
Let me
Disneyland
tell you.
fan. I
Hey,
don't want
man,
to go. I don't want to go if I have a kid until they're like 10
yeah,
and they can take care of their own stuff. But I think it
Yeah.
sounds like a nightmare. And it's expensive to be like, okay,
It's
you're having a meltdown in 2
extremely
hours.
expensive.
It's
No,
hot.
like-
The food's garbage and expensive.
Yep.
Like,
so there's some misconceptions there. Food's pretty good, not that pricey comparatively speaking to LA. What have you guys not? I
Well,
have the
compared to
finger on the
LA,
pulse.
maybe, but I
Yeah.
mean, I
But
don't
like
know.
and then also too, both parks now sell beer, so you're like, okay, well I can fucking get through this with a couple beers, and here and there. But like, I'm cut to be
$18
hammered,
beers.
hammered on the fucking roller coaster, and fall asleep. My kid's like, Dad, wake up.
I went to Disneyland a decade ago, and I remember feeling the same way you felt, Chris. Was like, I don't ever want to come back here like ever again.
Yeah.
This is like too many people, fucking kids everywhere, fucking just crying and shitting and everything. So we're standing in line for this ride, right? And there's this family, and I felt so bad for these parents. The dad is with the wife, and they got 2 kids. Like one is like a baby, and another one's like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 or some shit. And so the wife is like, okay, like we're standing in line for like a fucking hour for this ride. And the wife's like, okay, I got to go change the baby's diaper. And then as soon as she leaves, the kid is like, Mom's gone. Mom. And the dad's just like, well, she's coming back. And she's like, no, but no. And she starts screaming, freaking out, all this shit. And he's like, okay, well, and they've been standing in line with us for a fucking hour for this ride. And we're really close to getting on the ride. And he's like, oh, well, okay, we're just going to, we'll go find mom. And just like, was like, fuck my life. Like,
yeah.
He
needs
didn't
a
say,
Cinerex
hey,
pill. That's
buddy,
what he
I'll
needs.
keep your spot in line or anything. You just kind of sat there and watched it, like just to
I
fucking.
said, man, hey,
No, you don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah,
Absolutely, you do that. That's how you
Want to keep your spot.
What am I
You're
gonna
gonna get in a
stand
fight?
there, wait for 3 hours until he comes back with his fucking kid and
No.
his wife? If they come back, they
What, you needed to be early for the ride, Eric?
yeah,
It's like saving someone's seat and they're late. I can't do it.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna fight people
I'm
off.
just there's I would
I
have.
don't like it, people in general
anyway.
anyway, so I'm just I'm not gonna go out of my way to be
Now,
like,
I
Eric,
say
so
that-
Good riddance. Get out of here.
Yeah, but if I
Scram.
had a kid and they wanted to go, I'd probably go, but I really don't because it's like it's a long day for the kid, right?
It's a fucking long day.
He can't
It's a long
even
day.
walk an hour by himself, much less 10
Just
hours.
strollers and shit. But that's, I mean, again, like my kid was a fucking a G about it every time we went, where he was there for the whole thing.
That's cool.
But
best ride, Universal Studios, where they take you on the little tram and they show you around where Back to the Future is made, Jaws.
The
You just
tour?
sit, you just sit, and it's great. It's the best ride.
That's not a ride.
That is a
but-
ride in my book.
That's
That is
not a
I'm
ride.
that is
taking
a-
my fucking
as
car
a-
and drive around.
As a 41-year-old, that is my favorite ride, and I look forward to doing that again. I will go back to there just to sit on a
you
fucking golf cart and have someone tell me about stuff. It's like YouTube Live or some shit.
That sounds nice, but it's not a ride.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of rides, this
This
was a
ride's
wild
over.
ride. This ride is about to end, but we also
Oh,
like to ask
dang.
our guest what they have going on, where they can find you, your construction company name.
if you
wanna
live in
give that
Arizona
out.
and you're looking for some work,
Yeah, great work by
Or
Christopher
anywhere,
Mangnee.
Yeah. So my company's Rhapsody Remodeling and Design.com or rapsodyremodeling.com. You can find me Rhapsody Remodeling on Facebook, Instagram.
How do you spell it?
It's like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's
Ah, okay.
RHAPSODY.
See?
I thought you meant like Rap City, like
I've heard
Rap
that.
City, Rap City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that. But no.
Okay.
Like a turkey wrap. Like
Yeah. Find me
WRA.
online, on the gram. We're building houses, renovating houses, whatever you like. Or just hit me up, Chris the Bass Player. Say hi.
Yeah.
That's your Instagram.
Yeah. Still got that one.
It's on the gram. So
I
hit
don't
them up
post
on the
that
gram.
much, but more like a voyeur on that
You'll
stuff.
be posting this podcast, my friend.
Hey.
Letting the people know what you're up to in the streets.
Yeah,
Out
post
here in
it
LA,
up,
hanging out
baby.
with your knucklehead friends.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back. It's good to see you, Chris.
It's been a long time.
Been
Can't wait
too-
to get you
been
to
too
smoke
long.
weed after this podcast.
No.
I'll fall asleep.
Both you two.
Yeah. I'll throw up.
It'll rock my body. Yeah.
I'll throw up. He'll
Yeah.
fall asleep,
Yeah.
and you'll just be by yourself.
He'll fall asleep in
late
your-
for
in your
something
puke,
you
yeah.
probably planned.
Yeah.
Told people to be
Yeah,
at.
waste of a night.
Yeah, I got a speech after this I got to do. So, yeah.
Yes.
Commencement speech at a graduation. I'm at Tony Klein Comedian on Instagram, and my website is TonyKleinComedian.com for dates that are out of date. Eric, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on this podcast. You can go to the Eric and Tony Show on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Every day there is a 60-second clip on all 3 of those platforms of little cliff notes of the podcast that we had. You can watch the full episode on YouTube. Every Monday, the new episode is posted. Same thing on Spotify. The full audio file is posted. So you can sit down, have a beer, and listen to us talk and all this stupid shit. If you want to support this channel, you can go to the ericandtonyshow.com and purchase a beer mug or a t-shirt. Chris you'll be getting your beer mug shortly.
That's what I've heard.
That's
Very quick delivery.
We're working on some logistics with it. But you can find myself on any of those channels and find this podcast on any of those channels. We appreciate you watching. And thank you again, Chris Mangnee, for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
For being here and hanging out. And that's it. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.